What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Thoughts with Nick. I got my boy Corey with me here today. I'm excited to have a guest again. This is only my second episode with more people than just myself, so I'm excited to have an actual conversation rather than just speaking out loud. So, as
Word.
usual, gonna get started with the quote, and today's quote comes from JFK. I'm sure everyone probably knows who that is, and what he had to say was, "Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future." And that's kind of
Like
what
that.
Corey and I are going to be talking about
Like
today.
that.
Just change over time. And he's a little older than me. I got a younger brother that's a little younger than myself. And just what we were saying before we cut the mic on was, in the moment, it's really hard to pick up on the changes, even major stuff. But when you look back, you're like, damn, that.
For real.
So that's kind of what we want to talk about today. And something I guess we could start with that obviously you noticed right away, but you had a big change in your life when you were younger. You moved from New York over here
Yeah.
to PA, and you just talk about that a little bit of
Honest-
like the difference from the city to a more rural type.
It was like, all right, it was definitely a culture change. I'll tell you that much. Like, I don't know, New York is busy. It's super city, you know. I moved up here when I was 7 years old. I was in third grade, and it was just like, oh, snap. Like, yeah, I mean, I was more so, I was fast, I would say, like as a kid. And like, I don't know, it slowed me down moving here, but I got to learn more and I got to like really see life, I guess you could say, you know, rather than just being a fast moving kid. You know, like I got to see the good and the bad. You know, I got to be able to tell what my life was gonna be like. All right, I know that's bad. I know that's good. I see both. And honestly, that change as a young kid, it was smooth. I liked it.
You kind of feel like you had an opportunity, I guess, to
Yeah,
choose your own path
no,
and
most definitely.
that kind
Like,
of a thing.
yeah, it was nothing that was gonna force me to stay a certain way or like feel like I was tempted. I could be myself. I could be whatever. And I felt good about that.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to ask you about because I can't really relate. I kind of lived here my whole life.
Yeah.
Like during college, I spent a little bit of time in Temple around the
Yeah.
city and stuff like that. I went to Penn State, but that's not. I wouldn't call that a city, not in that sense anyway. So I was in Philly, this and that, but it's not like I
Yeah.
lived there, so
All
I
right.
can't really quite speak on that. So
So
that's why I
like
wanted to, I guess, set it off with that.
super living there, like all right, for you even just being able to hang out in Temple, you gotta be on your P's and Q's, you gotta be well like if you feel like you're comfortable everywhere, you're not. Like, all right, you're really not. You gotta go to like a hood type of a statue and really be on your P's and Q's. You can't be how you are in the suburbs. You gotta be really aware. That's awareness is really key. Like, and that's definitely one thing I learned.
I would say that was one change I did pick up on, just
be aware.
being down there, especially
For real.
if you're drinking or whatever, because we'd be hitting the bars in the city and all that.
See?
But like around here, I'll be having my headphones on, listening to music,
And you can be
all
more.
that.
You could be
and,
more cool.
And yeah, when I was down there,
Hey,
yeah, be on
you know
alert.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, the headphones ain't gonna be on. Like,
Yeah.
all right, and I still tell myself like, we live in a good area, but I never put it past anyone. I always still move with like that awareness, but it's because of where I grew up at. So like that never left me on like really paying attention to everything. Like I'm well surrounded. You know what I mean?
that's a good way to be though, because then you wind up, should anything,
Nah, for real.
you're ready.
Yeah, like it, and like that's what you want to be. Like I want to say that to everybody. Like it don't matter where you are, you never know. Like I don't know, life throws curveballs. You never know. Like it seems like it's supposed to go smooth. It's supposed to be boom, boom, boom. No, just be aware of your surroundings, your whatever you're doing. In life, and just keep a clear path. Try to at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think what you just said really emulates that quote from JFK. It changes the law of life.
Yeah, like-
and if you're certain to miss the future, if you're not,
real.
kind of like Corey just said, got your eye on the ball type.
Yeah, change is part of life.
Yeah,
Like-
I don't know. That was just funny. I feel like that example you said really hit right back to the quote. And
Listen.
Another change that I feel like you and I kind of both went through that we could both talk about, like, is health related. You know, now we're both starting to get older, and I feel like in the past few years, you and I have both really locked in on eating right, going to the gym, all that kind of stuff. And
my boy came back Thor. You know what I mean? Yo, he came back husky. So like it was a lot of motivation seeing him, like, you know, really instill, like, you know, oh, I'm working out, I'm doing this at the third over here. Like, I have a group of buddies doing this in Penn State doing. That's cool, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, me and him, we met each other at work. So it's just like, I was always the big dude. He remembered me as the big dude, like, before that. And listen, he was doing his thing. I felt like I had to do my thing too. Like, I felt good, you know?
And on the other side, like, we first met, it's crazy even saying this, like, we've known each other damn near 10 years now. It's like, I'm 25, I was 16, we first started working together. Like,
that is wild.
So when we first met, like, he might be saying, you know, I got some muscles now and all that, but I was just kind of like a skinny little, so.
But it took until, like, you went to college around that time, and you came back, and it's like, all right, that's when I, like, started losing the weight, and it's like, you kept saying, yo, I'm in the gym, and the dude Jose we worked with, like, it was a lot of people that, like, you know, instilled that, and, like, I don't know, I still think about that to this day. He came back Thor. He came back husky. Like, he ain't looked like that before, and randomly came back husky as hell. Like, it was just like, bro, what? Like,
yeah, thank you, bro. Bro. In the same respect, like, Corey has motivated me a lot, because, like you said, he used to be a little heavier, and just seeing him, like, where we work, it gets hot in the summer in the warehouse, and I'd see him long pants, hoodied up, like, got the layers on to actually stay consistent and make sure he was losing that weight, because you're working hard in the warehouse. So, like, if you bundle up like that, you're gonna be burning a shitload of calories, and just seeing it, like, I'd be like, man, I know you're hot as fuck right now, like,
for real,
no other way to say it. And it was just kind of like, it impressed me, and it was like, you know, kind of motivated me, I guess, to be like, all right, if he's going to go that extra mile, that even though we're already working hard in the warehouse, he's going to double down and put on the extra clothes to make sure he's really, you know, getting to it, like, that kind of thing. And then other stuff too, like when we were working in the warehouse together, sometimes I wouldn't have that motivation to go to the gym and stuff, and having someone else that was down to go with me really, it made it easier, you know what I mean? There was another guy we used to work with, Dave, who he was like doing other shit like school and work, and like I was a little
everything.
Yeah, I was a little younger, and I just like I didn't have, I guess,
that motivation. It gives you it fire under your ass a little bit. Like it helps you, because it's easy to say, I can't do this because I worked all day, I did this all day, I did, you know, and it's easier for you to get it off and say, the reason I ain't go is because, honestly, I ain't had that much time, or I didn't. Bro, we all make excuses. Like, that's really what it is. Like, that's just, you know what I mean? And it's just like, all right, when you get that motivation from someone, and it's just like, damn, I know I can do it. You know what I mean? That's really what it boils down to, bro.
Yeah, that's exactly my point with you and Dave. Like, you guys, like, he had the school shit. Yeah. You have a family. Like, you guys both had mad stuff going on outside of work. And I was just kind of like, oh man, I'm tired. Like, I don't know if I could go to the gym today. And you guys would both still be getting to it. And it was like, what am I talking about? Like, I don't have these extra shit going on. Like, and I'm slacking, but these guys are getting to it. Like, and they have so many more obligations, so many more responsibilities than me. So I got no excuse.
But at the same time, just like younger though. Like, so it's like, I'm happy it was motivation, but you were also younger. Like, so it's, you didn't have to really jump to that stage yet. Like, you know what I mean? You still had college ahead of you. You still had, like, time, you know. But I'm happy that it was motivation really for you to, I mean, really lock in. We all have the same 24 hours. You can never clock someone else's 24 hours and be like, damn, how they fit all that in. It's like, it's possible. You just got to move and do something for yourself also. We have the same 24 hours. I'm just saying that for everybody.
That was something that those two guys, Corey and Dave, they both showed me. Like, we all, like you said, we all got the same time, and they were really getting to it, making use of maximizing those hours, and it just
Hey.
kind of showed me, even like you said, I was a little younger or whatever, but I wasn't doing the thing like, and speaking of what I kind of wanted to ask you too, and you said I was one of the motivating factors, but another thing for me was like I kind of always had this idea in my head, I guess, of like what I wanted to look like and the person I wanted to
Right.
be, and like physique,
Right.
how to get there and stuff like that. And I would make excuses to slack, and then seeing these guys get into it when they really had like excuses. Like
Yeah.
you guys both had excuses to say like,
Nah, I
I'm
can't.
tired, I didn't have time today or whatever. And it was like, how am I gonna reach that goal and that dream that I have in my head if I can't even get it done when I don't have these other things on my plate?
Nah,
So
word.
that was something I wanted to ask you about, the motivation. That was just for me, like some of the motivation as well. So I think that's really dope that we were both able to motivate each other, and still
most
to this
definitely.
day, like especially both of us kind of starting to get into the running a little
Oh, yeah,
bit,
nah,
and
yo,
taking
bro.
the diet seriously,
real.
and it's been cool to like I'm
Locked
still
in.
super beginner on the running. So when Corey will come into work and be like, "Yo, I knocked out a mile before
Yeah,
work
like-
today," I'm like, "Oh man, I gotta."
Yeah, like before work, it do sound crazy, but it's like I just wake up so early, so it's like it feels good. I'm not a super runner either, so it's just one of those things where it's like I do feel accomplished for me to even like, yo, before work I'm running a mile. Like that's why I'm like, yo, bro, like I did that. Like like you know what I mean?
And it's impressive. It'd be impressive to me, like, yo, he got into work before me, and he already got something done before
Yeah.
that.
And
So
I be trying to do my push-ups. I
Yeah.
be trying to, I show me as a person, I try to show people the groundwork and different things you could do while still working, just so there's no excuses. There's no like cuts. There's no in-betweens.
And yo, we'll touch on it again later, but shout out your page.
Oh, Corey Gunna, it really Corey_Gunna, but TikTok, Instagram, you can find me. I think Instagram is Corey Gunna 580. YouTube, Corey Gunna 580. You can find me. Just type in Corey Gunna. You're gonna start, seeing who I am.
And we'll shout that out at the end again
For real.
too for you guys. But he be putting all types of stuff, like you said, the push-ups, the motivation at work, all kind of
between.
burpees, whatever, pull-ups, everything, just
And,
to show you,
my
even
job
on the
is physical.
job, you can still get it going on.
real.
So
You only need a couple seconds to do something that's gonna improve yourself rather than what you did yesterday in a couple seconds and a couple minutes.
he already has the physical job, but for those
Yeah.
of you more like myself these days who are sitting at the desk and everything, you really should take a look at his page and see, because
Trust
you
me.
gotta take a couple minutes to get on your feet and get active during the day, even if it's
Simple.
just a brief walk at
Yeah.
lunchtime, like something like that. Especially if you have an hour for lunch, get out and take a walk if you can. You don't need a whole hour to eat. You could do a 30-minute lunch,
Yeah.
even a 20-minute, and do a 40-minute walk, something like that.
Anything.
Your body's not meant to sit for that
all
long. But
all day.
long story short, with the change, a big change that him and I have both gone through is lifestyle change, physical change. And I guess the message that I want to bring to you guys in regard to that is that it really goes a long way to have somebody else alongside you for that journey, to kind of pick you up if you're slacking,
Real.
or just to show you what they're doing, and it might be something that you didn't think about, or something that you might not have thought was possible for you, and then you just see like the way they're making it work and how they're able to restructure their day to reach their goals. And it's like, okay, I need to rethink things a little bit because I'm being a little closed-minded. So just if you're looking for some type of lifestyle change, it can be a little hard by yourself. Not to say it's impossible, you can definitely do it. And I don't want to, I guess, undermine your motivation, but it does help a lot to have somebody or a community there with you.
Nah, most definitely. What he said, to piggyback up on, like I promise, having someone else to give you like just little words. Like I don't know, you don't need you know what you got to do by yourself, but just having someone else like just give you like, yo, like you're doing good. You know what I mean.
Someone
Are you
else
gonna-
to notice.
Yeah, they're noticing it, like, and they see that, like, I don't know, you're working hard. It's hard doing it by yourself sometimes, but if you get words from someone to like motivate you a little bit more, you boost yourself and like, all right, I know I can do it. I know I can. Like, that's just run with it. Trust me.
Because even, like doubling down on what he said, it can be a little hard to notice your own gains and stuff
Yeah.
when it is just you looking in the mirror. Like, you can, I guess, kind of like doubt yourself and your growth. But when someone else says, like, hey, like, you've been shedding the pounds, bro, or
Yeah.
you've been putting on the muscle, dude, like, it's like, oh, man, I didn't quite give myself that credit, or I didn't realize
For
I made
real,
that
though.
progress. And
I
then
promise.
you kind of could look back on an old picture and be like,
and
they're right.
And that's when you start thinking like, yeah, you definitely right. But I promise, I still look in the mirror a lot and be like, nah, I know because I'm not where I want to be. Like, and that's just is motivation. I'm happy where I am now compared to where I was. But it's one of those things where it's like until you're like fully there on, yeah, this is what I want. You're kind of in the mirror like, nah, I ain't that.
You're not satisfied.
Yeah,
yet.
and then someone's gonna tell you like, oh, you look like this, and you're like, for real, bro? Yo, thank you. Like, it's
Yeah.
appreciation, and you gotta start thinking like, I am kicking ass. Like, I'm doing what I gotta do, and I'm doing great, and run with it.
So if you guys are out there and you're looking to change, lifestyle change,
For real.
take the first step on your own for sure. But try and find someone, like, if you don't have a friend that's on that journey with you.
My bad.
Nah, you're good.
The only reason I want to touch up on this is if you're doing it just to have like a friend going with you and your friend bails, you need to stay there. You need, like, it's hard to just, like, I had to lock in myself because I was going with a friend, and no lie, it's like the third day in, he ain't want to go no more. And I stopped going for a little bit. And then I had to think, I'm buying a gym membership, but I can't not go because this man's not going. Like, and I had to get out my own head and just say, I'm going to go in there by myself, locked in. And, like, I didn't want to, like, make it seem conflicted, but
Yeah, nah.
you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
happy
I
you
just
said
don't want.
that.
I don't want no one
Because
to think they need someone.
That
all the way
can
through.
definitely be another excuse for you to
Yeah.
end up not going. So
I seen
I'm
it
happy. I'm
firsthand,
happy
bro.
you said that,
I
because that's
seen
a
it firsthand
good.
for myself.
That's a good experience to speak on, because I think that's common for a lot of people, like, especially if you're not familiar with the gym and stuff. It can be a little uncomfortable to get in there.
Scary,
but
low key.
I'll tell you, like, a lot of the people in there are really friendly,
They nice
cool
as fuck.
people, and if you're going every day, you're gonna end up seeing the same people.
Yo.
So you might as well say hi, and you could end up making a couple
Yeah.
new friends. So
You're most definitely gonna make friends. Like, the gym is like probably one of the most friendliest places you can be. But it's just, it also could be intimidating for people that don't think like, am I doing this right? Like, I feel like everyone's looking at me. Like, it's just one of those things. Don't get in your own mind. I promise. Like, I don't know. There's people in there that will help you. Don't get motivated only from someone else's motivation. Make sure you have your own motivation also under your belt.
yeah, I'm happy you said that.
You feel me?
Yeah. So another thing I kind of wanted to talk about, I guess, is just like change from when we were younger, and a big thing, obviously, everyone can relate to is technology, and just like
Yeah.
the difference from when we were kids to kids today. And, Corey, he's got a couple kids, so he could speak on that better than myself. I have a younger brother, so I can kind of comment on it a little bit, but we're 5 years apart, so there's some changes, but it's not like major like me having my own kids to say like, damn, it wasn't like that at all. I could see
Yeah.
some stuff, but I think Corey would be a little better to speak on it than myself. So
So your little brother, he's 9 years younger than me.
yeah, he
guess,
just
or-
turned 20.
So he just turned 20. Well, he's 10 years younger than me. I'm about to turn 30. So, even with that, like, it's already like a little bit of a gap. But I don't know, with time going now, like with my daughter, she has the iPad. Like, my youngest one don't have anything. She's only 1.5 years old. My oldest is 9. But the in between, I don't know, just watching like the iPad kids, it's kind of crazy. You want them to go outside, but at the same time, in the time we live, it's scary for them to go outside. When we was younger, we was just outside. We was all the way out there. But it came a point when Xbox Live, all that, like the lives started coming on. You can be in the house. That's what made people stay in the house a little bit more. Like, we all had game systems, but until it got to the point where it's like, oh, I can play Call of Duty online with everybody, like people around the world. Like, it wasn't, but technology for the young bulls, I don't know. I bet kids are crazy. I'm gonna just say that now.
That was, I guess, I'm happy you said that because that was something I was thinking about, but I guess I forgot to write it down. Was just like now with technology and stuff, like we have more information, so like there's, I guess you have a more awareness of like what's out there to be like, damn, like I don't want the kids up out there like that because it really. Like it's not like back in the day you
didn't see
be
everything.
a little more naive
Yeah,
to say
no, for
like,
real.
oh damn, like this happened across the way in the other city or whatever, but that would never happen
Now
over
you
here,
see it.
you know. And
It's on
now,
your phone.
and now it's like all this evidence and documentation. So like that's what I was thinking of. Like there's the give and take because you do lose the freedom and outside and the I guess opportunity for kids to be themselves a little bit, but you also do as a parent gain that sense of security of like, okay, I know what's going on here. Like, I don't have to worry as much because it is crazy out there. And
Yeah.
I don't know. So that was, I'm happy you kind of mentioned that because that was something I had wanted to touch on a little bit too of the juxtaposition, the good and the bad. Like, there's some give and take there of like, now with the technology, we have a little more visibility on like the risks and the dangers that we might not have been aware of when we were younger. And another thing, like, I guess kind of touching on that I think now we're more aware of the dangers like with the technology is some of the stuff with the chat rooms and stuff like that, that when it
Roblox.
first right bro, like when that
That's one
stuff
of the
first came
craziest.
out, like everyone would just be on there,
Yeah.
like a little younger than my generation, but still, and it was like parents or whatever would have no idea what's going on, but
At all.
now people are starting to
Because
realize
it's going
like
on social media.
fucked up stuff
Yeah, like
goes down there and you think
Yeah.
it's like all kids, but it's not.
You got grown weirdos out there. A lot of grown weirdos. Like and it's super scary. Check your kids' phones if you really got to. You know, really be on that. But I don't know. Roblox, that's one of those weird things because I even have it. I have it downloaded because my daughter wants me to play sometimes. I get on there with her. Other than that, I'm not on there. But there's people on there that play it for their self and be in the chat rooms talking to the like. Those are kids on there. Like I don't know. Y'all weird. Sorry.
Nah, I agree with you 100%. And now that I guess with the social media and everything, it's starting to get some more visibility and stuff. But back in the previous times, I feel like it was just like the Wild West type, like anyone could just be anywhere and
Anonymous.
you don't know who that other person is. And, you know, still you don't, but you have a little more, I guess, like even as it, like, I'll say it like this. Back in the day, as a kid, you wouldn't think that it's gonna be like an old head on the other side.
most
Like,
definitely.
You would think it's just another kid. But
And there wasn't no
now,
screenshot options.
Yeah,
Like there
and,
wasn't.
like even parents probably like weren't thinking like that.
No.
Like that there's some fucked up creep out there, you know. But now the parents can say to the kids like, "Yo, look out for this, look out," and it's in the kid's mind to be a little more perceptive and stuff. So that is a benefit of the technology that like we got some more visibility there to kind of like protect the youth and everything because there is messed up people out there that they'll use
that prey on.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I don't know. It's a dangerous time, but I was just curious outside of that, like stuff like phones and stuff, because just speaking from my experience, right? When I was in 5th grade,
Right.
for my graduation, elementary school graduation, I got my first phone, and it was a slide up phone with the screen,
Sidekick
and
joint?
then you slide it up to have the keyboard under there. And
Ooh, that's fire though.
then in middle school,
Is that when iPhones came out?
I
for
got the iPod Touch.
you?
And so that was like the coolest thing because you could get some messaging apps on there and all that. And then like towards the end, I think that was when I got my first iPhone. So I saw it like early years. My parents had got the iPhone 4, you know, and it was like, oh my gosh, like this is great. You know what I mean? Like this, that was crazy. And now the kids every day, like even my little brother,
everybody got iPhones.
he had kind of grew up with the phone and all that, and like I'm not knocking it anything like that, but
it took a while.
just as like a commentary of like just within that 5-year span, when I was in 5th grade, I was like so ecstatic to get that present of like, oh my gosh, I got this phone, and it was like like
slide
Corey's
the
kids,
Google.
for example,
Yeah.
if they were to see what I started out with, and I
You're
was
like,
so
what the
happy,
fuck?
they would probably be laughing at me.
Yeah, like because technology is so different, you know. But even thinking, bro, because like our age gap is like wild, you know. Because all right, when you got the iPod Touch, I forget. I think I was like closer to high school when the iPod Touch. Like, so you were in what, middle school? So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, damn, like that's wild.
Like,
what year did you graduate?
2019.
2019. Yeah, I was 2013. So 6 years apart too. Damn.
Did you guys? Something else that's kind of funny. You probably didn't have this. You guys ever have iPad carts?
No, bro.
Did you have the laptop?
It was a laptop. Like, so you had the iPads?
Only at the very end.
Yeah.
There was like one. So if you don't know about this, in our school district, it would be like these big ass carts, and there was like a tray or a docking station, if you will,
bunch.
on each level for laptops, and there'd be like 30 for like a whole classroom, right? And then towards the end, I guess had to have been, I don't know if it was,
I was already out of school.
maybe it was middle school, but I definitely remember they had the iPads. I saw, and it was like one cart with the iPads, and it was like, whoa, this class got the iPad cart today, and it was like breaking technology.
Remember the smart boards?
Yeah.
Yo, when they started doing the smart boards, I was like, bro, what? Like, I remember a chalkboard. You know what I mean? And then the whiteboard was already that. All right, coming from New York to PA, I promise we had chalkboards, bro. To see the culture change from that was like also crazy. You know what I mean? My bad to go back.
But even in like,
God damn,
just staying with me in the same school district. When I was like kindergarten, first, second grade, we had computer lab.
Yeah.
That's where you had to go to work on the computer. And then by the
Oh.
time I was going out of elementary school, it had accelerated that much that they had the laptop carts for every class, and they were just starting to implement the iPad cart. Literally, kindergarten to fifth grade. That's 5 years. So it was just like
all that technology.
a massive, like, I feel like Corey, my age, my brother's age, just the rapid advance of technology was just like crazy.
Yeah, because when I was in school, especially in New York, I remember it was a big ass Mac, like big fat back TV type of computer that we had at everything. And it was just like, oh, snap. And it was just the Apple Mac thing on there. It was like a see-through case. And it was just, I was young. I was like, oh, like, yo, look at this. Like, this is crazy. That's like damn near 01, 2000. Like,
and it would always be cool when you get the computer time and all that.
Yeah, not for real. Like, you just playing around on the computer. I was
now
just a little young.
Now it's just normal. Like, all the work. Like, when I went to college and stuff, all the work is on the computers. And it's just like, it's really different. It's really different because, I mean, personally, I like the paper notes better to write the shit down and you end up remembering it better. But that's just not the norm anymore at all.
Word.
I don't know. I feel like it makes it easier to forget. And it makes it way easier to get distracted.
Because all right, you can open up too many tabs. You can really get on the computer. You know what you got to do. This popped up. Let me take care of this. An hour later, I didn't do what I was normally supposed to do. You know what I mean, or originally supposed to do. So it's just you could definitely fuck up.
And if you hear us and you think we're sounding crazy, we're sounding like some old heads.
That's just real.
That's the truth. Like, technology, I swear. Don't get it twisted. There's many like great parts about the laptop, and even with ChatGPT and all that. Like, there's so much cool stuff, but like, it's so easy to get distracted. And like he just said, end up a whole hour ticks by, and you're like, "What? I did not do shit."
Yeah,
like,
mad as hell.
Yeah. Just, I don't know, end up wasting so much time. So if you can, like, go on your phone, set that screen time limit, set those app limits, whatever. And you'll end up being happy that you did that.
For real.
But I don't know. I think it's crazy just how much things have changed. And like, kind of like we said at the beginning, in the moment, you really can't quite tell. Like, but then you look back, and I look back to like during that time in elementary school, I was like, whoa, with the iPad cart. But it didn't quite, obviously I was a kid, so you're not going to pick up on it as much. But then looking back as an adult now and thinking, within that 5-year span, we went from working in the computer lab when you had to go on the computer to every class has basically a laptop available for every student.
And then a handheld laptop at that point. Like,
that's
all the way
just crazy.
touchscreen. Like,
And our school district is like, I would say they're fairly well off, so that is kind of like maybe a higher end of the spectrum. But now that stuff's definitely normal.
Yeah, I was about to say
We might have been a little ahead of the curve, but
because
now
last year, my daughter had a iPad that she took home. It was a at home iPad, But now she has a MacBook that she has at home all the time, and it's just like, all right, if they don't have school, it's sent right to the computer. And I'm like, damn. They send them home now. Like we had it. It was like damn near one cart per like damn near floor. Like when I was like first coming up, like laptops, like it wasn't like really every classroom had it. It was like, oh, I gotta see if Miss Susie's using it. I gotta see if And it's like, damn, like all right, like y'all didn't even have this planned. Like it just sucks if multiple classrooms had to because we wasn't gonna have computers. And then it's like later on, it's just boom, boom, boom. Actually, you know what? Take one home. You don't have a computer at home? Take this home. What the hell? Like y'all got computers up the ass now.
Yeah,
like
so I'm curious what you think about that. Do you think that's better or worse?
Nah, it's better.
Back in the day, like if it was a snow day or whatever, like you would be so happy, or if it was like a day off, and you 100% for sure you're not doing schoolwork. Like it's out of the question. It's not possible for the teacher to get in touch with you. Like it's over. And now like
for an aspect like that, for sitting there thinking, all right, well, I'm mad that I even have schoolwork, blah blah blah. Like, nah. Imagine they still tack it on at the end of the year. Like, so if you miss this day, like they're gonna tack it on at the end of the year. I would much rather them have the computers at home, especially for the kids that's less fortunate. That'd be like, oh, I can't type, I can't do this at the third. Now they have a computer.
Yeah.
But for the school day spectrum, I would much rather that little online class because my daughter only has to do it for like 2-3 hours.
Oh, really?
Rather than the full day. Yeah, it's not the full day on the computer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, nah, it's not the full day. So like, I would think like me as a kid, like low key, like all right, I only have to wake up early. I only got to put in like 3 hours. Fuck it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's to tack it on at the end of the year, extra day. Nah, I'm cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm happy I asked that because I didn't know that it was just like real short like that. And I was thinking of it like I used to love the snow days. I can't imagine now if it was like, nope, sorry, you gotta sit up.
Yeah, like you got that computer at home. There's no reason why you said you can't. No reason. For real.
So another thing with change and the technology and everything. Something that like I mentioned just for a second was ChatGPT, and something I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on.
Okay.
Was just like, do you think the changes with AI and stuff is better or worse? And like where are we going here? And I know it's hard to say, but we can just
Nah, where I'm at with it, like I don't know, it's gonna be bad. I watched. Well, you remember iRobot? You remember all like, bro? The computer's already smart as it is. It's smarter than what the fuck we are, even though humans built it. Why the fuck we making robots with a computer? Like, are you tripping? You see what's on the internet? Like, I don't know. Now we're just making. If a robot wants to be bad, he could be bad. We can't turn that shit off. It's a robot. It's an AI. Like, I don't know. Like no. The videos is already crazy. It has the older people looking like, holy shit, you see that? And it's like, that's not real. Like, auntie, that's fake, right? Like, it's so much going on, and imagine it's only gonna get better. So it's just like, bro, what? Like, I don't know.
I agree with you on that, man. It's
kind of scary.
That's what I was just gonna say. It's a bit concerning when you just see like, especially with the video stuff, like you mentioned, where when it first started, it was like that. It looks like
it's funny.
Shit.
Yeah, like you know what I mean.
And
now it's getting to the point like, yo, bro, how is changing like that? What the fuck is going on?
I've been seeing like funny ass ones where it'll be like a dog on a motorcycle getting pulled over by the cops.
And it's like, bro,
and then the dog skirts off, like, he's escaping,
and the cops on the run.
And get him! And it's something like that obviously could never. It's impossible for that to happen, but it actually looks kind of real. And you're like, what? Obviously, like for a fact it would never be real, and it's obviously fake, but it looks real. Like.
Shit fucks you up.
You might be laughing at me when I say that because you might think I sound like an idiot. But I swear, if you see one of those videos, you'll know what I'm talking about.
They definitely saw. Look, I guarantee everybody that's gonna watch this has seen at least one AI video that they were like, bruh, is this real? Yes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, AI is fucking with you. Simple.
And it makes you question like what's true and what's not. And it was kind of like, so this is something else that I wanted to touch on with the technology, and like AI is kind of fucking it up. Like with the technology and stuff, what we were saying before about how people are more aware and everything. I feel like back in the day with the news and politics and everything, like not to get political with it, but I feel like it was real easy to lie to the people.
Oh, yeah.
And you could just make up a story and no one know what the truth is. But
'Cause
now
you didn't have the internet
Yeah.
like telling you multiple sides.
and I feel like that's a really good thing now that people like, if you, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but if you were to look at the numbers of the people that watch the news versus people that listen to people on YouTube for the news, or people who would say they get their news from TikTok, it's way, way more, especially younger people that are listening to independent news than like CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, whatever the platform may be. Like their ratings are way, way down. And I think that's a good thing in the sense that like a lot of those are just mouthpieces for whatever political side, and neither, like, no matter which one, it's going to be a lot of just like
He say, she say.
yeah, lies and stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to be clear, that's not to say that people on YouTube couldn't be doing the exact same
No, yeah,
shit.
most definitely.
But a lot of times they will end up coming with the facts and stuff like that. And if they're tripping, people in the comments will be like, yo, here's the real, and then you could end up looking it up for yourself versus like some of the older generations would just hear the stuff on TV and just like fly off the handle, like, oh my God, it's about to be World War III,
Bro.
and then like today,
I promise, like ever since I was a kid, like looking at the news, I didn't like looking at the news. Because it just made you scared. Like I don't know, everything about the news, it was just like super scary. Especially living in New York, I'll just tell you that now. Like it was always something like, wow, this found, blah, blah. It's like, oh shit, like I mean, murder, but damn, fam, like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, just mad crime scene stuff. And then even moving here, like, just, it's just everything about the world. Like, it just seems like it only tells you, like, the crazy, the bad that's going on. It's never, like, the great. So it's just me as a kid, ever since a kid, I still don't watch the news. I find whatever on the internet, I guess.
Yeah, that's
Like you said.
Yeah, and I think that especially young people are doing that a lot. And not to kind of derail the conversation, but just something you should think about. If you end up watching the news a lot, and like you said, it's all the bad shit, I think that's a trap to get you in a bad state of mind, to bring your energy down so you think that the world is a more fucked up place than it is.
For real.
So I'll probably talk about that more another day. Maybe I'll bring Corey back and we can talk about how they end up kind of like entrapping your mind in the low vibration type
That's what it is.
stuff. But anyway, what I was kind of thinking is like, it's tough now. Like we're in the information age, as they call it, right? And so it's good that all the information's free and everything like that. Everyone can get access to it. But now I feel like it's starting to almost go the other way, where there's, with the AI and everything, like it had reached a certain point before where it was like people were aware. I think COVID is a really good example, where there were so many lies and stuff going on during COVID about, you know, what's really going on and why we're doing lockdowns and how deadly the virus is and who's making money off this and that. And once again, like, I don't want to get political with it. If you believe the narrative, that's okay. I'm not judging you. I'm just telling you there was a lot of stuff that wasn't true. And a lot of stuff got exposed during that time. And I think that's when a lot of people started waking up to, you know, the news ain't really all the truth and stuff like that. And there was kind of like a critical moment there where people turned away from the news and started doing their own research and kind of like turning to the independent stuff. And that was like a really good point. And people were, I guess I just said waking up, so I want to think of a different word, but just being more aware, you know. And now it's almost starting to go the other way with the AI, where you can't even tell what's real. So we had that point. We had that point where, like, you could know that the news wasn't telling the truth, but you could kind of count on some stuff on the internet. Like, don't believe everything on the internet. Obviously, I don't want you to go ahead and listen to me and then read some shit on the internet and be like, oh my God, what the hell?
Real shit, though.
Because there's a lot of lies and misinformation out there, but you have the capability to do your own research. But then with the AI stuff, it's starting to get to the point where it's going too far, and now it's hard to tell. Like, so
you
I
really
don't
gotta
know.
do deep digging. That's really, if you feel like super tough on how you feel on a certain situation, do your own digging, do your own research. Only because anybody could tell you their feelings on a certain topic, or literally what they want you to hear. You know, like, if it's bait, they're gonna get you in like, hey, come over here. I got a sale for this. Blah 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 blah. Like, and it's like, oh, I intrigued you. Now I'm gonna fuck with your head, and now you're gonna be sitting there like, oh, conspiracy theory or
Yeah, and something interesting. Like, I know this is a really kind of polarizing guy, but RFK Jr. He did a lot of litigation against like environmental stuff like that and other things that is more controversial that we'll leave for another day. But something I found really fascinating that he said was in all those cases there was an expert on both sides. So he's in court or whatever trying to clean up the river and all that. And here's an expert for the company that's polluting it saying, no, it's fine, blah, blah. And then there's a guy on his side that's the expert that's saying, no, it's killing all the fish and blah, blah. And they're both experts. So,
yeah, like,
like,
what the hell?
You don't get caught up in the fact that it was RFK Jr. That was just who said that example. And like, that's what it is. There's always going to be an expert. And like Corey said, if it's something you're really passionate about, you got to do the digging and do your research and make sure you're figuring out what's what for yourself.
Yeah. So, because it's so easy to get trapped in someone else's web of how they feel and whatever. You got to have your own feelings on everything that you choose. Seriously. It's your life. It's your body. It's your mind.
And just be aware. Try and be aware of the rapid fire changes. Because like I was just saying, we had that change where you could kind of feel good about the information you were getting. Yeah. And now we're starting to get into the change where you kind of can't again. And you got to be more skeptical again. And you should always be a little skeptical. But it's just, you don't get comfortable. Always be kind of anticipating that next change. Because, again, back to the quote from JFK, if you only look at the past or the present, you're going to end up missing the future. And with AI, with technology and where we're at today, it's really, really hard to know what the future is going to bring. No, but you got to at least try to, don't just, like, I know a little bit today, Corey and I were probably sounding like some old heads and like shitting on certain things, but not really, though.
You gonna be in the same situation where we at because y'all not that much younger than us. And so give it like 5 more years. They gonna realize.
And it's not even really like we're knocking it. What I really wanted to do today, and I think we did a pretty good job of it, was kind of like giving the good and the bad of it. And like some of the stuff that we said, if it sounds like we're shitting on it, like we're just giving you both sides because we had a chance to see before everything was the way it is today. And I think it would be good for me to maybe get some even older people on here, like my pops or something, who could say like before there was the internet, what it was like back.
Bro, like, if you can go down a whole list of people, in like different generations, bro, that's definitely a good, because everybody had something in their own generation of what they did for fun, and it just started getting to the point where technology took over on closer to our side. They didn't have that growing up, so it's like everybody was really outside.
And I think you should try and get outside more. I think people, no matter your age, no matter where you live, you should try and get some time outside, feel the sunlight.
Fresh air would never hurt.
It'll do wonders for you. I think it's underrated. I think it's, I don't know, with technology and everything nowadays, it's so easy to stay inside. You could get everything delivered right to your house, and it's convenient, don't get me wrong, but you're losing certain aspects of like what life is, And
I don't know, unless like I really couldn't go out and like walk go to the store or whatever. I don't know. I'm not getting my groceries delivered. I'm sorry. That's just not for me. I can't do everything delivery.
And just like, since I said that, one, I guess, final change we can talk about, that I think really relates to that is having to do with COVID, like changes following that. Yeah. What did you see? Because I was at college, so I can talk a little bit about that. But what did you see during and after COVID as far as change and like people and just on the whole?
I mean, like, all right, what the funniest thing was when people felt like they had to wash their hands like super crazy, and you just start thinking, you weren't washing your hands to begin with. Like, I don't know, people like that got super scared about germs and all that, bro. Like, it just goes to show how many people really don't wash their hands, though, bro. Like, that was a major thing. People were mad about that, and it was just like, this is an everyday part of life. Like, you know, you go through, you touch things and you wash your hands. There was the crisis of everybody getting the toilet paper. Like, bro, like, damn, you instantly went shitty. It's just when shit like that happens, you see the panic in everybody's eyes, and they're just like, gimme, gimme, gimme. And it's like, yo, honestly, everybody could have still been working together. You know, and what, like, I understand there was a deep thing, but it wasn't that deep. In my eyes, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry for the people that was lost, but the changes between COVID and now, like, I just see businesses, like, they still open up later. They still do certain things, like Planet Fitness is in 24 hours in most spots, no more. And, like, just a lot of things, like, places aren't open as long as they used to be. That's the only change I really seen. I didn't really see nothing else.
Now, I was just curious because I feel like that was kind of, in our generation, one of the major things that has occurred so far, like as young people. Yeah. And I feel like I saw a lot of change because, you know, I was at school and stuff, and it was second semester of my freshman year. So I was living in the dorms, and then it hit spring break, right? And spring break, I want to say it's like March, April. So it was, if you guys remember, like, actually spring break is, I think, April because it's right around Easter. So this is when April, it was really when it all started popping off. April, just to give you guys a year, 2020?
It was 2020.
Yeah, 2020. So it was just crazy for me because I was at school and then I come home for spring break and we didn't end up going back. The rest of the semester was online. It was like we didn't know what it was going to be. And then next thing you know, you don't end up going back. And like we already had the apartment on lease for the following year. And that whole...
So you had to pay for that shit.
So I spent a lot of time there my sophomore year at school, but the school was all online for that whole like first and second semester. Second semester, I actually spent a lot of time at home because my apartment, like, this isn't a knock on the people I lived with. It was just like, it was literally three of us sharing one bedroom. It was...
Oh,
so,
damn.
Yeah, so it was...
that's a lot.
Yeah,
so I would have came back home too, bro. You wasn't wrong.
I didn't have to be there, and
he was not wrong.
Like all the classes were online. So for literally almost 3 whole semesters of my college experience, the stuff was online.
Fuck, yo.
And like one thing I went through with one of my roommates was going to the gym. Like you had to reserve a spot to go to the gym online, and like
it was that deep.
What he was saying earlier when we were saying about holding each other accountable, like this guy, he really helped me, you know, stay with it because. I shit you not, you had to get on the website 24 hours in advance and book your time slot. And if you weren't doing it in that very moment, someone else was doing it. Because it was
everybody wants to get out.
Because Penn State gym's like big, and it would be like max 20. Look, there's a deer going back there. You see it?
Yeah, all the way back.
Yeah. It would be like max 25 people, right? And the only time is 75 minutes. So if you sign up for 6 o'clock, you're out by 7:15. That's cut and dry. Yeah. And so if you don't end up like getting right on your computer to sign up directly at 6 o'clock, you're not going at that. You're not going tomorrow.
Yeah,
you're
just
not
just
going.
over.
So that was one thing that was really weird. Another thing was like if you didn't end up taking the vaccine, you had to get tested every single week.
That's crazy.
So yeah, there was just a bunch of stuff like that. And then when it did end up, like I guess
clearing up, like
that was what I'm talking about with that part was my junior year when
it started in your freshman.
Yeah, the second semester of my junior year, we started getting back to in person, and you had to have the masks, and that's when if you weren't vaccinated, you had to get the test every week, and so the fall semester of my junior year, even it was all masks, and it would be like actual ass because you'd be trying to ball at
and you had to wear the mask, bro, and ball.
Like, if
what? Oh shit, the big buck.
Yeah, there he goes. And if you like, I don't know, man, you could try and like pull it down on. So we would do some IM intramural sports, and you would even have to have the mask. And if you would, I remember we would do IM basketball. I shit you not. And if you would have the mask like down so you could breathe through your nose, they would be like start
They
give
be
you
on
a warning,
Yeah.
and if you didn't follow, they would like dock your points in the basketball game. It, like
What, bro?
crazy.
What?
Yeah.
He had his mask down. 2
So-
points off his ticket.
So, like, just to be at college during that time was really crazy. And I think if I was gonna, explore this even more, it would be really good to have my brother on because he was in high school.
Oh yeah,
And that was
damn.
like, because I had a weird experience during college, but during college, like, your classes are already like more freestyle. They're at your own time. They're in different buildings. So obviously it was weird
high
that
school.
it was online and stuff. It was super weird. But in high school, like, that's where you end up like meeting a lot of your friends and different shit like that. So for that to be totally online and like, this wasn't like that important to me, but for some people, like homecoming, that kind of stuff is like means a lot. So like, I don't know, to lose out on that, it must have been just really weird. And I'll have to talk to my brother because I'd be curious if he'd want to talk about that a little bit. But it was definitely a strange time, and that was a big change. And what I would say, I guess, as far as like lasting changes from that, I think most people have gotten back to normal for the most part. There's some stuff, like I was saying, with the deliveries where people are more likely to end up like getting their groceries delivered, getting their food delivered rather than going out. And that's not a knock on them. That's not a bad thing at all. Like, to each their own. I just think COVID times made it more, I guess, accessible to do those types of things, and it made it more normal to end up not getting out of the house. And I think it's important to try and get out of the house if you can, because just when you're cooped up by yourself, like, you end up like just trapped in your head and different stuff like that, and it's just like you start you get a little paranoid, honestly.
Trust me.
And
it's way better getting out and just being interactive. You rather
that's one of the things, like, after COVID, I feel like some of those people who didn't end up like coming back to normal, hopefully they still can, but I feel like a lot of them, they did end up like getting more paranoid and stuff like that. And I feel bad because I feel like for some people it did end up taking a toll on their mental health. And obviously, condolences to anyone who did lose people, for sure, because that is tragic that ended up happening. And it was a strange time, and I wanted to touch on it today because I feel like that was a real period of change that we all kind of went through together.
We all had to, shit.
Yeah, and it was like, looking back on it, it's like, man, that was just weird. And it's so, you don't think about it now, but I guess try and take a second and think about and be thankful that it's over with, because that shit was terrible. It was really bad because, even with the college thing, going from like 1.5 semesters of like, I'm at college, and then like to over a year plus of like not regular college. It's like you get a taste of what it should be, and then it's like
little bit,
and then it goes to nothing. And it's just like, so just if you didn't experience that, or whatever you did experience, just think about, I guess, what you lost during that time and be thankful to have it back again. And if you did end up losing someone, just, I guess, try and cherish their memory. And my condolences.
No, most definitely condolences to everybody that was lost. How was school though? Like, your junior year when everything opened back up, low key, like, to bring it back, was it normal? It wasn't like the beginning. Like, I know it's still like, I feel like there were still regulations. And
so I want to say until like November, we still had the masks and everything. Okay. So the fall semester only goes till the beginning of December. So almost that whole semester, we were back in person, but we still had the masks. And the one thing I would say is, like, it gave the opportunity to take more online classes, which, like, that's fine if that's what you want to do. At
that point, it's like anybody could just be like, "Oh, I'm at this school doing online classes."
Like, I did a couple for like my. One of them was like an arts class that I had to take for a gen ed. Like, I did not want to do that in person. So like, it made it good for stuff like that. But at the same time, that also, it gave me an opportunity to not get out of my comfort zone. Like, I would have had to go and sit in there with people that I maybe wouldn't have talked to otherwise and stuff like that. And instead, I was able to be there with my camera off, with my mic off. Like,
you ain't have to talk.
Yeah. So it gave people kind of like an opportunity to end up not engaging with something that I feel like is a big part of college. So that I think was kind of not great. I don't know. I didn't do the frat or anything like that, but I feel like it probably would have had an effect on those years. Like, maybe if they had to have like if they were even able to do
All
parties,
that,
if they had to
yeah.
have like a limit to the number. I'm sure they were still doing
I was
parties and
about to
all.
say, you know, they was
Yeah. So
getting that
but-
shit in.
yeah, but it was weird, man. It did like that. I'll tell you what though, when it was finally like no more masks and everything, it was just like a collective,
Whew.
a collective sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Like now we're finally like we know we're not going backwards again. We're finally
Yeah.
because
Finally.
during the time when it was the masks and everything, it was like we don't know if we're gonna have to go back to online. We're just hoping that there's gonna be no setback. And then when it finally reached that day of like no more masks, then it was like, all right, now we don't have to be nervous anymore that we're gonna slip back again. That there's gonna be another thing. Like we know that if we finally kind of reach normalcy again, and that was just, I gotta say, like that was a really good feeling just to know like when that spring semester comes around, like all bets are off. Like we're back to regular life, and like
Nah, for real.
I don't know, and
Oh man.
yeah. So, but anyway, we just did almost a cool hour.
Respectfully.
So whoever ended up sticking with us through the full hour, hopefully salute. Hopefully you heard something that you can take away from this. You can maybe, I guess, pick up on some changes in your life, maybe make some changes if that's what you're looking to do, and just be more perceptive of the changes that go on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month, year basis, because they're coming fast and furious.
And don't be scared of change.
Yeah.
Don't be scared.
That's something we didn't touch on at all, but it is human nature to be averse and scared of change, and you just gotta jump in with both feet, honestly, and just
changes, like regardless, is always just gonna end up happening. Nothing's gonna stay the same. Trust me.
And you don't want to be that guy that gets left behind.
Yeah, and
because the world will go on without you.
the shit is sad. Yeah, I mean, like it's so easy to really get trapped on one thing and just think like, oh, it wasn't supposed to change. Like
we all know that guy that doesn't know how to use computers, that doesn't know how to text. Like, and it's fine if that's like an old person or whatever. But like if you know someone that's like 40s, 50s that like can't, like it's tough to deal with them, and I hate to say it, but like it's not a knock on them. That's just how it is. Like you're living in an age that has passed you by.
Yeah,
and
for real.
So you don't want to be that guy. I know change is hard, but just go for it. Just go for it. And long story short, I hope Corey and I were able to say some things that made sense, some things that resonated with you, some things that you'll find interesting. And
my boy,
thank you for joining me today.
You already know, bro.
One more time, shout out your information.
All right, so Instagram is Corey Gunner 580. My YouTube is Corey Gunner 580. My TikTok is Corey_Gunner. But you're gonna see me working out at work. Yeah, I mean at the gym, like whatever. Like I post videos and just give you motivation on drop down. Clear your mind. The gym is a good place to clear your mind. I promise. Don't be depressed. Go to the gym. Respectfully.
All right, that's all we got for you today, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and have a great day.